Meet Rohan, a 28-year-old senior software engineer at a tech firm in Bengaluru. Rohan was on the fast track to a team lead promotion. But over the last 6 months, his career started spiraling down. The reason wasn't his technical skill, it was his home life. Rohan and his wife, Ananya, were constantly fighting. Between long office hours, household responsibilities, and passive-aggressive comments from extended family, their communication had completely broken down. Morning tea was served with cold silence, and nights ended with heated arguments about late working hours or unvisited in-laws. The emotional drain was destroying Rohan at work. Loss of focus. During critical sprint meetings, Rohan found himself replaying last night's argument instead of listening to his manager. Irritability. He lost his cool with junior developers over minor code bugs because his stress bucket was already overflowing. Decreased output. Rohan was spending hours sitting in front of his laptop, staring at code, completely paralyzed by anxiety about going home. His manager, Vikram, finally pulled him into a one-on-one. Rohan, your work quality has dropped significantly. You seem distantly detached. Is everything all right? Rohan was mortified. His relationship issues were no longer a private matter, they were actively sabotaging his livelihood and future prospects. Desperate to turn things around, Rohan came across a framework inspired by Mel Robbins' The High Five Habit along with principles of emotional compartmentalization. The core realization struck him hard: your career cannot outgrow your emotional health. When you leave home in a state of emotional conflict, your brain enters a high cortisol, fight or flight mode. It becomes impossible to access creative problem solving, high-level strategic thinking, or patience, the exact skills required to excel in a high-paying career. To save his career, Rohan didn't just need to work harder, he needed a systematic reset button to stop his personal life from bleeding into his professional output, while simultaneously healing his marriage. Rohan implemented a 3-step system designed specifically for busy Indian couples trying to balance ambition with domestic harmony. Step 1. The 5-minute commute reset. Boundary setting. Rohan realized he was bringing his morning domestic frustration straight into his morning stand-up meeting. The action: he introduced a strict transition ritual. During his commute, or 5 minutes before stepping into his workstation, he practiced a deliberate breathwork exercise and told himself, I am stepping into my professional role now. Domestic issues will be handled at 8 p.m., not during office hours. Step 2. The weekly Sunday chai protocol. Proactive communication. Instead of arguing spontaneously late at night when both were exhausted after a grueling work day, Rohan invited Ananya to sit down every Sunday afternoon over chai. The action: they set a structured 20-minute discussion agenda covering domestic schedules and family visits for the week. Career pressure points. Example: I have a major release this Thursday, so I need extra support. One appreciation each had for the other. Step 3. High five energy at work. Self-encouragement. When relationship stress made Rohan doubt his self-worth, he stopped seeking validation through work perfectionism. He used quick mental resets to acknowledge his hard work and regain confidence before entering high-stakes meetings. 2 weeks into the system, disaster struck. On the morning of Rohan's crucial promotion presentation to regional directors, Ananya and Rohan had a sharp disagreement over extended family dinner arrangements for the upcoming weekend. Ananya left for work upset, slamming the door. Old Rohan would have spent the morning frantically texting her from his desk, spiraling with guilt, and completely ruining his presentation slides. Instead, Rohan forced himself to execute step 1. He sat in his parked bike helmet area, took 5 deep breaths, and acknowledged the pain. I love Ananya and we will fix this tonight over dinner. But right now, my team needs me at 100%. He mentally compartmentalized the dispute, delivered a clear, confident presentation, and successfully landed his project approval. That evening, because Rohan hadn't let the morning fight ruin his day at work, he arrived home with energy and emotional bandwidth rather than feeling completely depleted. He didn't get defensive. He brought Ananya's favorite sweets, sat down calmly, and used the chai protocol framework to listen to her perspective on the family visit. They resolved the issue in 15 minutes. At work, within 4 months, Rohan was officially promoted to engineering lead. His manager praised his calm demeanor under pressure and sharp leadership presence. At home, by protecting his career energy, Rohan stopped bringing work frustration home, and by structuring their personal communication, the domestic fights dropped by 80%. You cannot build a high-performing career on a shaky personal foundation. When you learn to set emotional boundaries and communicate proactively with your partner, you don't just save your relationship, you unlock your full potential at work.